shocker, in his phone to start the show.
I'm trying to clear the notifications from all the live stuff.
Oh. Or you just use your phone like I'm doing, and you don't even worry about any of that until after the fact.
Oh, well.
So you're the same way if there's like a little one
I hate
on
it.
your phone.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I constantly, I'm sure you don't read half the shit that your wife sends to you on Instagram.
I definitely don't because you clear it out and I don't even know it's got sent.
I don't clear it, but I just go and I hit it so that it no longer has the notification on my phone.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm very bad at checking the Instagram. And for some reason, the notifications don't show up on my phone. They show up on yours.
Well, that will please me quite a bit then if we win best Instagram feed.
I mean, I do a good job with it. I just don't do it all the time.
There's stuff up every week, normally a couple, 2-3 times, you know. So we do well. We tag brands. We do all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah. Tag the advocate.
We've constantly changed and rotated and all that good kind of stuff too. Mo, you had some kind of a possible in with the advocate, didn't you? Didn't you email them or some shit like that? I thought. And she's just wandering off.
No, I had an idea.
Oh, that we're going to have to follow through on. Okay.
Idea.
Ooh, idea. Hey, fat man, do something.
I gave you idea.
Heard.
That's the hard part is having idea.
Don't forget you have to pour some of that said beer before you drink it all. She tilts the can high.
That's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign at all. But we also know when she likes a beer or is thirsty for beer, you need to remind her to actually pour you some.
Because otherwise you get the spit at the end.
She will drink it all.
You also have to remind her after she pours it to hand it to you.
Yes.
'Cause sometimes she just pours herself a shot of her own beer.
And drinks it like she's doing to me.
Oh, my bad.
Fucking hell. All right, y'all ready to do this?
Come on, y'all missed me last week. I can go right back to bed.
I made that offer to you. You're the one who was dumb enough to get up and decide to do this.
Oh, you ready to actually start the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm Daniel Mathis. I'm a Norwich supporter. I really despise millennial Arsenal supporters. And you were listening to the Drunkard United football show.
I hate championship teams that talk shit.
Poor Daniel. Back at it at the championship again.
Yeah.
Instead of back at it with the white fans.
I got it, yep.
Okay. Damn, Daniel.
The old parachute payments.
Yep, the classic yo-yo team. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks.
That's us.
I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me earlier today with the CR7 hairdo with no product.
It'll come back.
Or as I also like to call them, if hairdos were hard seltzers.
Fuck off.
Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing, Sammy?
You're a jackass.
Yeah, I can't just compliment you. I got to throw in an insult there.
That's
too.
ridiculous.
That's how it works, you know?
You know what? I'm done. I'm leaving.
You're done? Oh, are you going to whoa the fuck out of here? Is that what's going to happen?
Don't forget your keys.
Or my phone.
Yeah. Whoa, fuck, and walk out the door. Yeah, exactly.
God damn it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we're going to have to make sure that's turned up. Oh, that's
Well,
because
I
you were
can't.
doing it
Yeah, I
as you were
can't fit out
fading the
music, but
and...
don't worry.
Oh, fuck.
I have it nice and loud.
I love the fact you can hear the door coming through. Like
It came in hot, man. It scared the shit out of me. I'm not ashamed of that.
I love it. It's so fucking brilliant.
It
So
happens.
brilliant.
What are you going to do?
We're recording at the DU Public House, just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It is at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Excellent. And thank you to everybody who took the time to vote for us for the Maryland Podcast Awards.
Yes, really appreciate that.
We'll find out on May the 14th how we did.
It'll be a good
me.
birthday for me on the 17th or a shitty birthday for me on the 17th.
Well, hopefully your fragile little ego is okay and you get the most votes for best podcast host is what we hope for. You know?
I'm going to win.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. We are on to number 2, and fuck me, is this a good glass of whiskey?
Yes, it is.
Right off the jump, big shout to our boy Ken. This bottle didn't exist when the list came out. It was already sold out. So Ken had a second bottle and graciously donated this one to us.
Yes,
So
thank you so much, buddy.
big shout out. And of course, we all know Ken from his lovely daughter, Maddie, who is,
This show would be better with less F words.
she's very wrong in her thought process, but
I mean, I'll fucking give it a try, all right?
well, then tell us about the fucking whiskey, Sammy.
All right, so fucking number 2. This is the Maker's Mark Wood Finishing Series 2021 release, FAE-01. This comes to you at 110.3 proof. Yep, I did the math right. Should have ran you about $60 when it came out, but of course, again, a limited release, it probably was a little bit more than that. That was suggested retail price.
I think they're on FAA 5 now.
4, something like that, yeah.
4 or 5.
Right around there. The panel at Whiskey Advocate rated it a 93. It is a straight bourbon whiskey. And your blurb this week comes to you from Jeffrey Lindemuth.
Okay.
Maker's Mark has resisted the rampant experimentation that defines some distilleries, but they appear to be making up for lost time with 2 2021 releases in their wood finishing series, which started in 2019. This release is enhanced by an American oak stave that has been toasted on only one side, then added to the barrel. This innovation amps up the oak influence without going overboard. Fresh sawn oak, earthiness, leather, and iced tea are balanced by caramel apple, toffee, and baking spice. A flavor-packed, oak-driven bourbon that wears its proof well. And I would have to agree.
It is
Very good.
fucking tastic. And Ken and I were enjoying a few whiskeys on Wednesday over his birthday. So happy belated to you, good sir. We got to have the Joseph Magnus cigar malt, which is Armagnac finished.
Yep.
And seeing that it was his birthday and seeing that we were drinking something Armagnac finished, yours truly brought the Whistle Pig 4 Black Prince for him to have a glass of that, which he had never had the opportunity to have before.
Black Prince is excellent.
And as we were sitting there, that's the one that won best whiskey in the world for one Mr. Pickerel.
Yep.
As we were sitting there talking about the list and everything, he said to me very emphatically, he goes, there's a reason why I was so bullish against the Larceny Wheater being the number 1 whiskey last year, because this is what a Wheater should taste like. It was his exact phrase of it. He
Yep.
said, this deserves to be number 1. And
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
No, it's
tomorrow. Next week's going to have to blow me away. I know we're doing the Offerman Guinness. Don't give it away. I'm sorry. I'll stop talking. Offerman something.
Yeah.
But then, of course, anybody can look it up online and
Of
see what
course.
the fucking number 1 whiskey was.
Now, this one is, for me, I get a lot more tobacco, which they didn't mention in the blurb, but they do mention on the bottle. Mm-hmm. And I think this would be a lovely cigar whiskey as well.
Yeah.
You can't have anything too terribly strong because it will overpower the whiskey.
It's got to be a milder cigar.
It's got to be a milder
definitely.
cigar, but I think it'd be fucking excellent.
Actually, you know what this would go really well with? Boulevard Bellicoso Habana.
Yep.
Because those the Cuban cigars, everybody thinks like cigar smokers think of the cigars as being like really strong, and it's like, no, actually Cubans are very nuanced and
yeah.
very soft, and they're very much like what Bordeaux wine is to France is what Cuban cigars are to the cigar world. They're a very mild, nuanced stick, and they don't have that big punch you in the ass kind of thing that a lot of the darker cigars have.
Well, I don't know why you'd shove your cigar up your ass, but
Yeah, exactly.
Flavor.
Producer Mel even had herself a glass of this one. What do you think, Mel?
It's delicious.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Very, very drinkable. Not too hot, but just enough heat so you respect it, and the flavors are well balanced. The chats are pointing out how adorable it is that you two dress like twins again.
Oh, yeah, we are both Mr. Graham. Well,
Short sleeves.
you know what? Hey, yeah, and long sleeves. Thank you very much. But Mr. Graham, there's the opportunity. Please, by all means, plug away. If somebody wanted to...
Say, if someone wanted to twin with you, where would they do that?
Very easy, actually, at the DU Drip Shack. So if you go on any of the social medias, once again, it's at DU Football Show on all three of those. In our bio, there's the link for our Teatree account.
Absolutely. Very good. And are there other ways that people can support us as well, Mr. Graham?
Funny you should mention, there's a Patreon, actually, also. Patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just one simple $5 tier, and you get both of our extra shows. One that we just finished doing called Soundcheck, which is our actual sound check, catching up on the weekend, giving you a little glimpse into the lives of Sam, and Mel. And then Injury Time, which is our preview show of what's coming up.
Yep.
In the following game week.
Which typically ends up running at least an hour, and about the last 20 minutes tends to be us talking about the games, because the first 40 minutes is us talking about fuck all else.
Yeah, pretty much. And
beers and
beers are adopted clubs from other countries.
Fantasy.
Yep, the fantasy
we have
league.
two fantasy leagues here. So
That's right.
There's pro rel in our fantasy.
Absolutely there is, which I need to talk to you about, because people are none too happy that there's only one person going up and one person going down.
Tough shit. There's one.
Well,
shit.
this year, yeah. I said maybe next year might expand it to two, but
we also said it very clearly and plainly at the draft that it was one goes up, one goes down. We made that very clear.
Right.
So the tyrant has spoken. They can all fuck off.
That's it. I'm grabbing my keys and leaving.
Yeah. So
you can also sometimes hear us fight.
Exactly. like last week.
At the end of the show.
Hey, Mr. Graham, what else should we do?
Always remember to drink responsibly.
I love it. All right. Let's get into the fucking action.
We got to clink glasses,
okay.
you dick.
Okay, fine. Go clink glasses with you as I drop my coaster on the ground. And I'm just going to kick that onto the floor, and we all get to share a toast together. Yes, that's very good. All right.
I take mine with Nutella.
Heard. The relegation zone is cruel. You think you're safe at the half, only to realize you're another victim. One spot from demotion has already been claimed, and as there are 4 clubs desperately trying to survive the last 2 spots. Well, survive from the last 2 spots. Burnley 2, Watford 1, Aston Villa 2, Norwich 0, Everton 1, Chelsea 0. Watford start lively, get a lead, but could not find the second goal.
But it ended up being an own goal, so they didn't even score it, which is kind of problematic for them. Obviously, Emmanuel Dennis started the season in a fucking blaze of glory, and then has tailed off. I mean, he kind of almost pulled a Richarlison, to be honest, where he starts off 7, 8, 9 goals in the first 12 games, and then falls off a cliff for about 15, and then you don't hear from him again.
Yeah.
So it's really quite sad, to be honest. The picture's doing the rounds of Roy Hodgson sitting there with his shades on, just in the sun. Said he wasn't feeling well. He didn't even take the press conference yesterday, or on Friday rather. And yeah, it was
Saturday, but who cares? Days are days.
Well, no, the press conference would have been on Friday.
The
pre-presser. He didn't do that. He wasn't feeling well. But it's really sad for them, to be completely honest. They just there's no clinical aspect to anything they have going forward whatsoever.
They had chances. God, did they have chances?
Yeah, but half of them weren't even on fucking target.
Could have been 2-3-0 easily.
But they allowed Burnley to stay in the game, and then they allowed Burnley to grow into the game. And it took them a while, because Burnley don't score a huge amount of goals either. But they finally did. A great header from Jack Corks, brilliant cross from Cornet.
Yep.
And then
it wasn't Cornet. It was McNeil. Cornet was out. But
it was Cornet that passed that ball.
Cornet's out. He's on my fantasy team, so I know he was injured.
Okay.
It was McNeil.
Okay.
No biggie.
And then Josh Brownhill getting the winner 3 minutes later. I mean, when it falls apart for Watford, it falls apart in a very spectacular way.
He was in the 65th minute. You could tell Watford had then gone to, all right, we're just going to try to hold
on.
We're going to try to keep them out. And the problem is is that they have not conceded a goal at home this entire season.
Right.
So to go at 1-0 and go, we're going to keep them out of the net this time. Well, you haven't so far.
Right. Well, they're also
you're not going to you can tell. I'm watching as an Everton fan, and obviously I'm like, please, Watford, hold on. And I'm like, they ain't holding on.
Well,
the goal was coming. You could tell it was coming.
The other piece of that was their 9th and 10th goal conceded after 80 minutes.
Yep.
This season, more than obviously anybody else in the Premier League, but they came into the game having conceded 8 in the final 10 minutes of games this season, and it's just not good enough.
Great.
And Ben Foster played very well. I thought
he played very well.
He was
had
awesome.
A couple of fantastic saves.
It can't fall on him. I mean, the rest of the team has to fucking do something. They just don't.
No.
I mean, Brownhill was a bit fortunate. It went through like 3 players' legs,
right.
And I think Foster was unsighted as a result of that.
Right.
But nobody was offside or anything. I'm not saying that, but there was a lot of traffic in front of the net.
That first goal was a clear cross to a clear, wide open man inside the 6 who emphatically headed the ball home.
Yeah.
All you can do is look at your team and go, where the fuck
where are you guys at? What are you doing?
Why is that cross not being challenged? Why is a guy that open in the middle of the fucking box to put that away? Like, and at that, it's Jack fucking Cork. He's a central midfielder who barely goes into the box ever. Like, be one thing if it was Weghorst, you're like, okay, we have the big German put it in. That's fine. We expect that. But a little tiny central midfielder who barely ventures into the box to attack, he's the one putting it away. You mean to tell me that's just a complete breakdown. Well, but not covering the back end of the field.
I also think that's symptomatic of teams will feel encouraged no matter what the score is. Mm-hmm. When that clock starts ticking about 75 minutes, like, hey, we can get something here still.
Yeah.
Keep pushing.
And conversely, it's very different when you then take a look at the Everton match, which we will in a few moments. But a team that can hold off a team and a team that can't hold off a team, a big difference.
Yeah.
For Watford now, it's backs against the wall. They
have to win out.
They have to win out. The minute they lose, they are going down. Lose a point. If they get a draw, they're going down. They have to now. They have 4 matches. They have to win all 4.
Yep.
They want any chance of staying up.
And they need other results to go their way.
And they're the worst team at home, and they have 2 of those games at home. It's not going to... I very much think it's Palace at Palace this weekend. They're going down. They go down
It would not surprise me. It would not surprise me.
Because Vieira's not going to let his boys fuck around on this one. And
no.
Yeah, I think it's done and dusted.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you.
Remarkable effort from Burnley, and since making the managerial change, which we were all shocked by, frankly, they've now gotten 10 points. It's 3 wins and 1 3 wins and 1 draw, and they seem to be invincible. It looks like they could get themselves out of it, but let's also don't look too fast now, because now it actually gets pretty tough for them.
Oh yeah,
for
sure. It definitely does. There's still a lot of work to do. Mm-hmm. I'd say the same thing with Leeds.
Yeah,
there's still a lot of work to do, but you all have now. The onus is in your hands after your result.
Right, exactly.
And you have to go to Watford, again, as you say, who have the worst home record in the Premier League.
And we have the worst away record. So something's got to give.
Yeah, something has to give.
Honestly,
no, it doesn't. You could draw.
Well, what you hope for is for what you hope for Everton is that this weekend Palace beats Watford, Watford's out, and then you play Watford and they don't care.
Right.
That's what you hope for, is that they know they're going down and they just don't care.
Now, what I would be nervous about, though, is that situation, though, they could play with freedom. I've heard players saying before where it was the weeks leading up to relegation where it was almost inevitable, where that pressure got to them and they cracked and they played like shit and they, let in late goals and did this, that, the other. But once the relegation was finally confirmed, they were able to play with the freedom because it didn't matter if they lost. They were already down.
Sheffield United beat Everton last year right near the end of the season.
So
let's
try to give the fans one more result.
Yeah.
Before we head out of the league. So that would be the part that makes me nervous. I've already told you I'm a little concerned about their front line, giving your back line hell. But with Yerry Mina's coming back to fitness and how organized, even though it was organized chaos, how organized your back line was with his return, even without Michael Keane.
Yep.
I think, or Ben Godfrey, he was still out. It was Mason Holgate and Yerry Mina, who don't normally play together ever.
Right.
And they were excellent.
Yep.
They were excellent in that game, which we'll come on to.
Let's go on to the next match. Villa dominate. The scoreline does not tell you that they dominated. They fucking dominated.
Oh, yeah.
they dominated Norwich. Norwich never seemed to have a hold on this game at all, and they looked like a team that was desperately hoping Watford would beat Burnley.
Yes.
And what the way it worked out was at halftime, Watford was beating Burnley 1-0, and it didn't matter what happened to Norwich. Norwich still had a chance to survive. But then Burnley came back, and if Burnley had won and Norwich lost, Norwich was relegated.
Yep. And that's exactly what happened. It was kind of written in the stars.
It's so funny that Villa did it.
Yeah. It was kind of written in the stars when he took over there.
Yeah.
That this was going to happen.
I hear they gave Dean Smith a good reception, though. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch it, but the highlights were awesome.
Let's also face Dino's the one who got him up there. Dino fixed things in the championship and got them to that point. He deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I'm not saying that at all. Yeah. But taking a job so quickly after you got sacked by the team that you support as well.
Yeah.
After selling Jack Grealish this summer and all of those kind of things, it was always going to be Villa that had a hand in you going down.
No, of course. It's how the soccer gods write it.
But what I feel really bad for Norwich supporters. I really do. Because once again, and it was the same thing after old Topics boy, it's just going down without a whimper again.
Read it right here. Now, the official yo-yo club of the English Premier League and Championship. They are the leaders with 11 demotions.
Yeah.
Damn, Daniel.
It means 10. It means 10 promotions. Back at it again in the championship. But
glad we rehearsed that.
Yes. But it's 11 demotions. It's 10 promotions, but it's 11 fucking demotions.
Yeah, they extend their record as being the most relegated club from the top flight. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just the manner of it. I mean, even when Derby got relegated with the worst record ever.
Yeah.
Even they won a game in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Where are Norwich going to pick up points?
Norwich got their win against Burnley. They got that one.
Last time?
Yeah, right when they fired Dyche. Yeah,
that was 3 weeks ago already.
Yeah, and I don't see them getting another win.
That's what I'm saying. So they're going to, again, just go out without a whimper like they did last time.
Yeah.
And then them and Fulham pass each other on the M1. Fulham on the way back up, obviously.
Here's the bigger question for you then in regards to Norwich. What is it that you have to do to make sure you don't immediately go back down again? Because you win the championship consistently.
Well,
I mean, they win it a lot.
Don't sell your best player.
Yeah.
Find a more bona fide goal scorer.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
And they just don't do it. So
Agreed.
they sold their best defender to you in Ben Godfrey, 2 seasons ago when they got relegated last time. Then they sold Buendia when they got relegated this time to Villa.
Yep.
Well, no, that was on the way back up. They sold him to Villa. Sorry, that was on the way back up. Yeah,
going back up.
This season's been such a blur with all the cancellations and rescheduling. I don't even know where the fuck we are anymore. But it's just make poor. They don't replace what they sell. Let me say it that way, because you could say that all of that is poor decision making. But look at Brentford. They've survived each time selling their top goal scorer for a massive, massive profit. Right? Look at Ali Watkins. Look at Said Benrahma. Look at all of those players.
Lespe. Mopé.
Yeah, Mopé.
Was a Brentford guy.
Yeah, so, but they replaced them with somebody who's just as good with their little Moneyball strategy they got going on over there.
Right. They find another guy who will score 30 goals for them.
Exactly. But Norwich don't do that. Norwich don't, and maybe Timu Pukki, who is a decent player, but maybe he's just in the Huckabee zone, right? He's in that David Nugent kind of realm where great and better example, more recent for people that aren't familiar with the two players I just mentioned. Alexander Mitchevich.
Yeah. who was,
5 to 7 goals in the Premier League. Okay, fine. It's nothing really to sniff at, but for a center forward, you got to be doing better.
he's on the verge of scoring what?
40.
I thought he was on the verge of getting over 40, like 45, 50.
Yeah, well, I think he's 40 already in all competitions, but I think he's like 33 or 34 in the league.
Yeah, just insanity.
Yeah.
Absolute insanity.
So, but he'll come up to the Premier League next season
Be 5 or 6.
and be 5 or 6.
And be on the bench a lot.
Well,
be
now,
moved
that
to the
being
bench a
said,
lot.
he's a player that needs service, and I think they've balanced their midfield a bit more now, where Fulham may be able to get him service in the Premier League, and he is a bullish player. I mean, he can give defenses trouble, but
Yep,
whether or
box
not
in the
you know-
box. Yeah.
right? But I'm starting to wonder about Pookie. Is Pookie somebody that can only flourish in the Championship?
Yeah, I would tend to agree. And they also people going in the wrong direction at the wrong time. So like, Todd Cantwell basically has fallen out of form completely with the side.
Billy Gilmore.
Well, Billy Gilmore was alone.
Yeah, but he was amazing. He played what under Frank Lampard? Played 12 to 15 games. It was
Yeah.
excellent. He played
Yeah.
the fucking Champions League.
Yeah,
and was
exactly.
excellent.
Yeah.
And then can't put in a shift for Norwich.
Who's the outside?
It doesn't make sense.
Who's the outside back for Norwich? I'm forgetting about it. It's not Lewis. It's something. But he was someone that had been favored to be picked up by a lot of different clubs, and then is just kind of fallen off. Like
Yeah.
they just seem to have these guys who just fall off. Like they just don't end up being very good, and there's no offense, there's no defense. It's kind of shameful, but Norwich is fine with it because they take the parachute payment, they go down, they win, they come back up, they take the parachute payment. So, I mean, maybe
And they still get that season of TV revenue.
right, maybe for that club, this is how we survive. This is how we make
Yeah, but
money.
that's crap for the fans. Nobody wants to do that.
Well, I mean, every couple of years you're going to win a title as a fan.
I guess. I mean, they do have more trophies than Tottenham in the last 10 years. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's very sad. What a scene at Goodison, dude.
I've never heard of these two clubs. What happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking awesome game. It was wild.
Well, even before the game, 15,000 around the
Yeah.
stadium with the
was awesome.
smoke flares.
What
and
a
the
fucking
singing
atmosphere.
And, I mean, just our good friend, Mr. Ryan Williams from the American Toffee Podcast, he and his son Max were there. Max was
awesome.
on his shoulders. I was messaging with him, and I was just like, please explain to your son exactly how fucking paramount and important that moment was.
That was awesome.
That you were there for that, because it felt like an entire city, or at least the blue half of the city, told Everton, you're not losing today. We are willing you to a victory. It didn't, taking nothing away from what the 11 guys on the pitch did, because we'll get on to that. Fuck Pickford, Jesus.
Pickford is Scott Sterling.
My God. But it was just this entity that is Everton Football Club, the family that is Everton Football Club, just went, no, Chelsea, fuck you. You have nothing to say here.
Well,
we are willing our team to win. And it just felt like, Robbie Earle said it best on NBC. He was like, Chelsea played 40,000 people plus the 11 that were on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. They played 40,011 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. The other thing I would say, too, is the support never wavered throughout the game. I was listening to one of the other podcasts that we check out from time to time, and some of their pundits were saying how atrocious Everton's pass success rate was in the second half, and it was. They gave the ball away a fuckload.
Crazy.
But the support never stopped. You usually get some hisses, you get some boos, like, hey, keep the fucking ball and relieve the pressure for a minute. There was, all right, come on, let's go again. Let's get back at it. Stay together, stay focused, stay organized.
I believe the primary commentator of the match had referred to Goodison as a moody stadium, or as a mood stadium. Like, you can tell the mood, good or bad. If you're playing in that stadium, you know what. Like I told you when I was there for the Martinez era, when Arsenal beat us 2-0.
And Alexis Sanchez took a load off over in the corner.
Yeah. And it was Alex Iwobi who scored the first goal. But how the fans were just groaning every time there was a ball passed too
Yeah.
long, and you could see it on the players' faces. Like, I remember a ball going over Seamus Coleman's head that he was running down the sideline, and it went past and went out of bounds, and you could just hear the whole place groan, and you could see his shoulders just go.
Is that when the
Like-
10-year-old yelled the C word?
That was when Alexis Sanchez tried to dive in the box, and he said, "Get up, princess. Did you hurt your fucking..." Yes.
Nice.
That's exactly what he asked him. And many agreed. Alexis Sanchez had hurt it. Clearly. It was bruised.
Don't joke. That hurts.
Well, I can imagine it does.
No.
Into the
You don't
match
have balls.
into the match itself.
That hurts.
Are you sure?
Let's
hurts.
not test that theory. Let's just agree it hurts all around. No.
No, they get to claim the most natural pain possible.
Right.
I'm going to stand up for us at number 2.
Okay.
Fuck that.
All right. You know what? You won me over. Yes. Yes.
We're taking our rightful place. And being kicked in the groin is the second worst pain you could feel for.
Right. Number
Yeah.
one's childbirth, and they get that. That's their world.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to save my retort for injury time.
Oh, I already know what it is, and that would be number 3.
What, purple nurples?
Well, no.
Accidentally put in the butt?
No. The
Unexpectedly?
Again,
never
injury time. Injury time. Move on.
Joking.
never trust anything that bleeds for 5 days.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
Jokes.
I don't remember where we were.
Into the match. Within 2 minutes of the match going on, and you hinted at this before with the positive return of Yuri Mina.
Yeah.
Yuri Mina was clearly, he had crawled inside Kai Havertz's ear, laid down, and took a nap because he was in his head from the 2nd minute to the 10th minute because they decided to add
The 90-10th.
add all that
That
time to
famous
it.
90-10th minute.
Exactly, which would be 100. But he was in his dome.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
In his dome.
yeah, it was insane how, I mean, that's the canniness, number 1, of a South American footballer in general.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, of an experienced South American footballer.
Knew just enough to not get the card.
And number
Because he certainly
3,
deserved a card. He
A
deserved
young,
a card.
yeah, a very young,
Mm-hmm.
relatively inexperienced,
Mm-hmm.
kind of privileged footballer that
Right.
doesn't know how to deal with those things. And you're right. I mean, Yuri Mina was like a homeless guy that found an empty tent.
Yep.
He said, I'm crawling in here. And he lived rent-free.
He would be grabbing on his jersey, and then the minute that the ref would turn his head, he'd take his hands off his jersey, and Havertz would have a handful of his jersey.
It was excellent. I mean, the whole effort. I mean, even you forced a mistake out of Cesar Azpilicueta, Mr. Reliable.
Yes,
You
one of the most
forced a
reliable
mistake
people
out of
on the
him.
field.
Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. And Richie, who hasn't played very well from time to time.
Been scoring recently.
I have
been
that.
informed recently.
I have that beer. I have that same beer. So one of those cups is for you.
So Richie gets it done, puts it in
It's
the
a
back
great
of the
finish.
net. Absolute amazing finish.
Now, given the way that he chucked that flare, I wouldn't have him throw out the first pitch anytime soon.
Very true.
If I was a bird flying by, I'd be a little nervous.
You can't help but as an Everton supporter, just like you see the still picture of him in the corner celebrating the goal with the flare in his hand. You're just like, get in, son. Yeah.
Everybody did their part. Fabian Delph, he may retire after that performance. I mean,
Had a great match.
He ran more than he has in the last 6 years combined.
Great match. Myelenko has really grown into his role. Now, I still don't like the way it all went down with Digne and everything, but we got a great left back.
Oh, yeah, he's good. Myelenko's very good.
He's not going to be as offensive, and there was an opportunity for him to score a wide open goal there in the second half.
He just lost his nerve a bit,
Yeah.
I think.
So there's that. But Myelenko, Holgate had a great match. Seamus Coleman just being the captain. You
Yep.
know, the captain.
There was a couple of little fisticuffs. That happened a lot this weekend, to be honest with you.
There was a lot of
fair
that.
few fisticuffs at the end of moves and plays and stuff.
But
You all right? Decided to join me down on this level?
But
Mel just lowered her seat.
get the rave on, son.
Well, hold on. I think the guy in pink rivals Jordan Pickford for the man of the match. The supporter in pink.
Yeah, he was ready to put the ball underneath his shirt.
Tried to steal it at one
That
point.
whole stadium was just shithousery. It was just a level of shithousery. Everybody was simpatico. It was like,
absolutely.
we are just going to fuck with this
But can I
team
also
nonstop.
just say there's nothing more scouse than being in the front row on a globally televised football event thinking you're going to get away with stealing the game ball.
Yeah, just put it under
He
his
just
shirt.
had a very big lunch.
He put it under his shirt, but then he took it out of his shirt, just set it down on his feet while he was looking around
Yep.
like, I'm just going to keep it.
He had a really big dump.
This is coming with me. But you talked about him, using the face to make the save.
Oh. But the announcer even said it, and I love a quote, right in the face, end quote, sentence.
Total Scott Sterling.
It is the best.
But the save right before that, Mason Mount takes a shot, hits off the inside of one post, goes across, hits the other
I think he got
post.
fingertips to that, too. I think he turned that onto the post.
Hits the other post, comes out. He's running across the face of the goal. Ball comes back into the middle, and his entire body, but his hands are
Past the ball.
in the goal, in the goal, and just his hands stick out. Boom, knock it away.
Yeah.
And knocked it away far enough that it was out of the way.
But I mean, just the way that he flung himself at it, the trajectory of the ball, the rest of his body was already past the flight line of the ball.
He had to completely come back and knock it back away.
Oh, it was amazing.
And
It
then
was
there was-
absolutely amazing.
There was the long shot that he just barely got his fingertips onto and knocked
Ruben
over.
Loftus Cheek. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And then Zayak had, honestly, that was probably the toughest of all the saves that he made, was Zayak on the near post, just a quick turnaround, shot low to the low near post, and he got his, boom, hand out, knocked it away.
Kovacic, too, had one. Yeah.
And just, wow.
What a performance. I mean, honestly.
was-
And then, again, he used his fucking face to save from Antoine Rudiger at point blank range.
Yeah, Scott fucking Sterling.
You can't beat it.
And you could see the emotion from the team when the whistle finally got blown. I thought 7 minutes was a bit much. Thought it should have been 5. But then also I found it also a bit antagonizing too, that it was like at 7, it was already at the 7-minute mark, and there really wasn't much stalling or any injuries or anything like that, that the ref still gave Chelsea that one last attack.
That was
It's like,
weird, yeah.
No. It's 97 and 30 seconds. Blow the fucking whistle.
Yeah.
You can't just go, oh, well, we're going to give him one more chance. I hate that bullshit. And I hate it just in general, even as a neutral match. It's like, even when it's my team, like, no, like, don't give them one more chance. They don't deserve one more chance. They had 7 fucking minutes to get that chance,
Well, I don't
and they
know.
didn't
I don't
do
know
it.
why there was 7 minutes in the first place. I don't think it really warranted
Thought it should have been 5. Thought it should have been 5.
you had a couple of cramps from Richarlison. You had a couple of substitutions.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And a goal. And that was it.
It's just the goal was in the first half.
No, the goal
I'm
was...
sorry, the goal was early in the second half.
It was like the first minute of the second half.
Yeah.
So really
why,
not even
like,
added.
Right. So what are you doing?
Right.
It just doesn't make
It was
sense.
just, this is a top 6 side. Let's give them 7 minutes to... And that's the worst thing. At Goodison. Like, you would have thought there'd be, like... the whole thing of Fergie time was a lot of times it happened at Old Trafford. It was kind
Every
of
time it happened at Old Trafford.
home cooking, right? Like, and where's our home cooking? I mean, I get it. We're in the relegation zone, but God, a little home cooking, like, come on.
There were rumors of fireworks, pots and pans, and other shit outside of the Chelsea hotel the night before.
Oh, no rumors. There's
No rumors.
video.
There's
Oh, is
video.
there?
It's awesome.
I didn't see that.
Tuchel even admitted being woken up a couple of times over the night. Like,
Brilliant.
just
Love it. Get a little Central American in there. I love it. That's the best. That's like
now-
Costa Rica, Honduras. That's all that shit. That's brilliant.
the big talk for Everton was at this part of the relegation zone battle was, they have it really tough. They have it really tough. They have it really tough. Well, that really tough part, they just got 2 wins and a loss, and the loss was at Anfield, which you expect.
You expect, yeah.
So they beat United and they beat fucking Chelsea. Now they still have at Leicester, at Watford, Brentford and Palace at home, and then at Arsenal. But when you look at the schedules, and we'll get on to Leeds in the next segment, for Burnley and Leeds, now it becomes they're the hunted, because they're the ones just in front of Everton, and you don't want to say the pressure's off Everton, but you got the really tough ones out of the way.
Yeah.
And you're going to Leicester, who honestly, all attention is on this Thursday in Roma.
Oh, it's on the McRib Trophy.
Yeah, and if they advance, they're going to be elated. If they lose, they're going to be deflated. So you have to figure that's going to play into Sunday's match.
Yes, it
That's
will.
absolutely going to play into Sunday's match.
You know what I am worried about, though, and I said this last week, and I'll say it again, it's shaping up for us to relegate you.
Right.
And I don't want that.
I don't think that'll be the case.
I hope not, and you were bullish about that last week.
I think we will be
You were
safe
bullish
by the
about
time it
that
gets
last
to you.
week, but it's still making me nervous because the possibility is there.
Yeah.
The other piece to that, though, is I'm really worried for Leeds.
We're going to get to them in the next segment, but yeah.
Okay, then I'll save it for then.
I
have a lot of sympathy for them because of having an American boss now.
Oh, absolutely.
And the reception that he was given when he signed.
Yeah.
And Ted Lasso for 3 weeks and all this, all the shit that he was given. And now you know what he did say, and I do want to get this in. He said it's squeaky bum time for.
Yeah. Very
in
well
his
said.
in his interview, he said it's squeaky bum time now for Leeds, and I thought it was brilliant.
I want to finish with this thought. This weekend is what makes football so beautiful, and
Oh fuck yeah!
and the excitement of it all. I don't ever want to be in this situation again, and gosh, I hope we stay up. But that moment, that watching my team, watching them fight, watching the supporters all just show the amount of love that they have for this team, and in the regards of what football means to us as supporters and fans. That match, that was a prime example of exactly why we love this game when it's not pretty. The title is on a razor's edge, switching hands match by match, just waiting for one side to make a mistake, which it seems like either one will not make a mistake. Liverpool 1, Newcastle 0, Manchester City 4, Leeds 0. Newcastle gave him a battle, man.
It was
Newcastle,
a leggy performance from Liverpool. The other thing I will say, though, too, is Newcastle kind of were the architects of their own demise in that they couldn't stay on side half the fucking time.
Yeah.
You have to test Allison. You have to go at Liverpool to an extent,
Right.
It's what people said about City, right? Where you have to just go at them. If you play defensively, that's what they want you to do. That's how they expect you to play. They prepare for that. Yeah. But if you sucker punch them in the first 5 minutes and then you continue to pressure a bit, you have a chance.
I mean, even the week prior with Everton against them, Everton at least had a couple of opportunities, and particularly in that first half, probably had the better opportunities.
Right. So it just Liverpool did look a little leggy, even though they were the ones that were a little bit more comfortable coming out of their Champions League game, being 2-0 up on Villarreal.
Right.
Where City was only 3-2 up.
4-3.
4-3, sorry. Only that razor edge 1-goal margin going away from home in the second leg against
Madrid.
To Madrid, exactly. And Madrid just having wrapped up the title now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only thing they have to play for. City's not done.
Yeah.
So ultimately the cream rose to the top, and they're lucky it did, in my opinion, in both of these matches, because I think Leeds. I think it was much of the same. Leeds gave City hell in that first half. Now, again, ultimately the cream rose to the top, and City do have a lot of flair there, right? So they were able to get a much more comfortable 4-0 win in the end. But ultimately, I think Liverpool's result was pretty comfortable anyway.
Yeah.
Even though they couldn't find the second goal to save their lives.
Great little piece by Naby Keita to score the goal.
Oh, great feat.
I will say, I do not think that was a foul on Fabian Schär that the ref waved play on to, that ultimately led to Keita getting in the box and scoring. Schär had kind of gone down around the 35-yard mark on a 50-50 tackle. And honestly, I thought Shar oversold it. And
on James
Keita's-
Milner. James Milner, yeah.
on Keita's
no,
goal.
that was not a foul. That wasn't
Not
a foul at all.
I didn't.
No,
It's
absolutely not.
And you know,
That was a good tackle.
again, biased Evertonian here, and it was a solid tackle. And honestly, shame on you, Fabian Schär. You're a central defender. What the why are you
Why are you carrying the ball out of defense like that?
Well, and why are you trying to look for a foul there when you know the minute you hit the deck, somebody's going to have to cover your ass. And Keita sliced apart the center of inside the box, just sliced things apart to score the goal. So
and it was a great little layoff. I think Luis Diaz was the one, or maybe Jota. One of the two passed the ball back to him on a little 1-2. But it was great feed. It was good composure, and it was just all around a great goal.
Now, bias will show. Mr. Mane is getting away with a lot lately. 2 hands in the face in the derby, and he went in spikes up, chest high, that ended up hitting Dubravka in the knee. And I get it. It's a loose ball. It's a 50-50 ball. When the ball's in the air, the player has as much right to the ball as the keeper does. But the player doesn't have the right to have your spike sitting straight up at chest level. And then to ultimately come through and hit the keeper spikes up. Like,
well, he did that before.
And it didn't even get looked at.
Do you remember when he got sent off against City a few years ago for a high foot? It kicked Ederson in the face.
Yep.
Same sort of scenario. Obviously, didn't make contact with what's his name's face.
Right.
But it was high, and it probably should have been called. It was a 50-50 ball. Minimum should have seen a yellow for it.
Right.
In my opinion, but didn't.
Yeah. Nothing. Nothing. It was just again, you know, the eye in the sky sees what it wants to see a lot of times. But for
I mean, I'm willing to allow for their human too and all that kind of shit, but it's pretty fucking apparent.
Yeah.
You're making it really obvious.
That was for Charleston. That would have been a red card.
Yeah.
It would have gotten looked at by VAR.
If that was Granit Xhaka, he wouldn't even have to do that, and it would have been a red card.
He would have been a red card. Yeah, like it just there's other teams you look at and you'd be like, yeah, you wouldn't have done that if it was any City player. You wouldn't have done that if that was Ronaldo.
Hey, here's one for Smokey.
Yeah.
You know who it wasn't a red card for?
Who?
Since apparently it was the same thing. Aaron Ramsdale. That's for you, baby.
Very good. Very, very good.
That sun out there in Arizona is baking his head.
City answer, though. You know, Liverpool gets the win. They move to top of the table. And then later that afternoon, City answer in emphatic fashion. Now, granted, it was a lot tougher in the first half because also, let's talk about this again. What a fucking atmosphere at Ellen Road. Ellen Road was bumping.
Absolutely was. 100%. So... There was a lot of mistakes made in this game by Leeds. Luke Ayling, I think, had a couple that were pretty apparent, but City couldn't capitalize.
Yeah.
Meslier made a couple of fantastic saves. Was standing on his head a bit, but as we the old cliche we've said on the show many times, if you apply enough pressure, eventually the dam will break, and that's what happened.
And it did. Ooh, did it?
Oh yeah, it was. It hurts them because of the goal difference situation. It hurts Liverpool because of the goal difference situation.
It's now only +1.
Right.
So that plays big time
That's
into
huge.
it. And you have to assume that with the next match, Liverpool probably isn't beaten in Tottenham by 2 or 3 goals. And it's probably going to be a 1-goal game. And you have to imagine City's probably going to win their game comfortably. And next thing you know, City got the goal differential too. It's the one thing that Liverpool kind of had going for them, being just behind in the hunt.
Right. So, and that's huge. Say City do lose, which I don't see them doing now.
Yeah.
I think the rest of the schedule looks pretty straightforward for them.
Oh, I don't think either team loses. I think this finishes
as is.
They run it out, and it's City win the league by 1 point.
Well, right. This, for me, was the banana skin weekend. This was where one of them could have slipped up, and they didn't.
Yeah. City has Newcastle next, but it's at home. Big difference. Newcastle's been a very different team on the road than at home since changing over
and
to
St. James's
Eddie
Park
Howe.
was bumping this weekend.
Yep, absolutely.
Even West Ham. That atmosphere was pretty damn. That atmosphere was pretty dope.
Now the big problem, Leeds now when you thought they had finally gotten themselves out when they beat Watford, you were like, okay, they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. Don't look so fast. They are now tied with Burnley on points. They are 2 points ahead of Everton, and Everton has a plus 10 better goal differential and an easier run-in than Leeds do.
Yep.
Because Leeds' next match, Arsenal, who's trying to get into Champions League.
It really is worrisome for Leeds at the moment.
Oh, absolutely.
And I feel for them with Jesse Marsh being in charge, as I said, with all the Ted Lasso talk when he first signed on and everything else. And, you know, full bias apparent. We want to see Americans do well in England because we're still looked at as being so football naive that people don't give us any credit for having knowledge or paying attention or being a supporter or any. So when an American goes over there, you want them to do well.
Now you wonder if for the third year in a row there's going to be a sophomore slump.
Right.
Because
also,
3 years in a row, the only time there hasn't been a sophomore slump recently was Villa when they actually were able to survive. Yeah, and Wolves. Yeah. But
So-
most of the time, there's a sophomore slump. Like when we do our preview next year, both of us will probably be like, "Well, let's see what Brentford does this year."
Right.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. I think they're better equipped than a lot of these clubs to deal with it.
Yeah, of course.
Whether or not they do is a different story.
Right. How do the players handle that all? But
Right.
But for Leeds, this is a bad run in.
Yep.
And it's also out of their hands too, because ultimately,
Well, it's out of Burnley hands. If you win out, you're safe.
yeah, Everton
And
got the game in hand.
They have to battle it out with each other.
Right. So and there's also a fourth team that I want to talk about, but we'll mention them in Oso. But yeah, it's not looking good for Leeds right now. And honestly, I mean, if you told me gun to my head which one of those three is going down,
Say Leeds.
I think it's Leeds.
Yeah.
Rounding out the rest of the league, so that happened.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Gecko. We could be very wrong.
Yes. Lars, too. But of course, Lars doesn't listen to the main show. He only listens to
The Patreon.
The Patreon in the shower. That's good. He can't give me shit about it because, well, he doesn't listen to the main show, so he won't hear me talking about it.
I still like the idea that he's having a wee wank to our voices.
Heard. All right. Crystal Palace 2, Southampton 1, Brighton 3, Wolverhampton 0, Tottenham 3, Leicester City 1, Arsenal 2, West Ham 1, Man U 3, Brentford 0. Nice little comeback from Palace. Honestly, this is what Vieira wants to see out of his boys. I think there's going to be matches that they take off down the stretch here, but it's not because Vieira's not going to be in their ass the entire time trying to get them to play better.
You're absolutely right. He's a hard-nosed dude. He expects a certain standard, and it's been, trying to change the culture at Palace, right? Trying to make them more expansive. Remember, he changed half the fucking squad to lower their age profile over the summer, and he's gotten these players on song very, very quickly.
Very interesting stat that I saw over the weekend. The last 4 matches that Palace have played, Conor Gallagher, 4 yellow cards, 0 chances created, 0 goals, 0 assists. And they've been slipping. So Conor Gallagher goes, so Palace goes currently right now.
Yeah, well, he's back to Chelsea in the summer,
It's
so
very true.
you got to find somebody else.
Time to get Eze back up to health because that boy's got to be back in there to get it done.
He did score the first goal,
Yep. Yes, he did.
which was excellent. Good for him. Did take a deflection on the way, but he won't care, especially after being out for 10 months or whatever, with that horrific injury. So Southampton, they've been hit or miss here or there. They've let teams stick around as they did in this game, and neither team really has a lot to play for. It's just really position.
Here's the fourth team that I throw into the hunt. They're at 40 points. Now, technically, we always say kind of 39 is safe because no one has ever gone down with more than 39 points. They're not the teams with 40 points. Brentford, Villa, and Southampton are technically not safe yet, right? If Leeds, Everton, and Burnley all go on runs and all get wins, get a decent amount of wins, Southampton could be snuck back into that more so than Villa or Brentford because Southampton's goal differential is a minus 17.
Yeah, it's bad.
So they're right there. I tend to think they're okay, But don't be surprised if we see them in 17th place at the end of the year.
You know it doesn't
and
help.
see like an Everton or a Burnley skip over them.
You know it doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Goal differential.
Mm-hmm. Losing
9-0.
Yeah, or losing
Or
6-0. Yeah, 6-0. Well,
Or 6-1, I think it was.
Could have been worse. It could have been 18-0 if it wasn't for all the saves that he was making in the post that got hit.
Hi, Kenny.
The Seagulls love to miss penalties, man.
Yes, they do.
It's like 3 in a row that they've missed.
They haven't scored from until the second penalty. They hadn't
Right.
scored from the spot in their last 3.
If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Yeah, that's right. And it's also a lot easier when the opponent doesn't even show up to fucking play the game.
Yeah, that's so I reached out to our boy Paul from the Whole Lot of Wolves podcast and just kind of like, what are your thoughts? Because you're slowly watching your team that was clear.
Dallas or Houston?
Houston.
Houston.
But you're looking at your team that's clearly in the hunt for not just the McRib, but Europa, and even at one point Champions League. They were even in that discussion as well.
Yeah.
And now they're looking at maybe they finish in the top half of the table. Maybe, because the way Brighton and Palace are playing, I would say those two legitimately want to finish in the top 10. Like their players, their coaches, because it's something they haven't done before. Where Wolves is like, how have we done that before? And it almost feels like they're kind of just...
Well, the Molyneux let them know about it, too. They booed them off the pitch.
And
how do you let a team survive missing a penalty? That was Brighton's first real chance.
Oh yeah, that's when you put the ball in the back of the net 10 minutes later and done and dusted, and they're gonna fold like a
fall
cheap
apart.
chair.
Yeah,
Not you fold like a cheap chair.
it was pitiful. It was absolutely fucking pitiful.
So Paul,
I also agree. Both penalties were actual penalties.
yes, do agree.
Yeah.
Paul, the long and short of it was Paul basically said he's like, look, this is a typical mid-table team season, right? A team that doesn't have enough in the tank to get over the finish line, doesn't have enough personnel to get over the finish line. And he goes, it's disappointing and it's frustrating because you look at the team and go, we could have done so much more, but it's the normal mid-table problem. It's, or as I would used to call it, haven't been able to call it lately, Evertoning that, where you just kind of, God, how I would love to Everton that back like we used to. Just finish in 8th place. That'd be nice. Remember those days? Those days were great. Oh, my
Nice
God.
and calm last 3-4 weeks of the season.
The scoreline does not reflect how this game really went between Leicester and Tottenham, because there's a handball at 0-0. A flat-out handball at 0-0. But the children and VAR, clearly VAR realized it needs to be for the children. The children, Sam. And not notice that Son's arm is completely away from his body and the ball hits directly on his arm.
I mean, he looked like he was doing the I'm a Little Teacup song.
Yeah.
His hand was on his hip. His elbow was out.
It was a handball. It's not even up for debate. Like the only handball that's worse was Rodri's against Everton. That's the only handball that was worse, because he literally just reached out and smacked it down. But like,
I forgot about that.
Eye in the sky, man, sees what it wants to see, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was also, in my opinion, clear and fucking obvious. But
And then
that is what it is.
And
what are you gonna do?
Shortly thereafter, Harry Kane gets the goal, makes it 1-0.
And then Son gets 2 of his own.
Yep, in the second half, his third goal was bloody fucking brilliant. Oh, that one.
Son's second, the third
Yeah,
goal.
the third goal, the one he put up in the corner.
Yeah, that was.
But his
delightful.
second goal, well, was it Romero fouled the shit out of a guy in the middle of the pitch. I mean, Manchester City style, like just took him out, legs out, flipped in the air.
There was so I heard somebody say, I can't remember which show it was on, but one of the radio shows, that sometimes Sergio Romero doesn't remember that the football is what he's meant to be kicking.
Right. Instead
he
of
just goes
the
around,
person.
and kicks people.
That was bad, very bad. And now for Leicester, all attention turns to Roma in the McRib Cup, and that's it. They're down, I think, either 2-1 or 1-0. I know it's a goal.
I think it's 1-0.
I think they're off by a goal, and they travel to Roma, which is against Jose, which is a tall ask. But honestly,
also Roma doesn't normally sell out their stadium. It's a massive fucking stadium. They don't normally sell it out. It's sold out for this game.
Ooh, bunch of Leicester people going to be there.
Could be. So we'll see what happens.
Excellent.
We'll see what happens.
Gunners back and forth, back in the Champions League spot.
Yes. Great game. I think there's another fair amount of fisticuffs in this one as well. A couple coming togethers.
Yeah. Very chippy match.
A much changed side for David Moyes, though, because obviously he's got an eye on that Europa League semifinal second leg. They're down 2-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt, and they're traveling to Germany.
Yeah.
For that second leg. So
Gave
no
Souček,
Antonio, no
gave-
Souček.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, gave a lot of guys the match off.
Now, the nice part is they will have, apparently, Kurt Zuma. Miracles were performed, and he was fit.
Yeah.
He played this game.
Yep.
He played last Thursday, was his first game back against Frankfurt, and didn't play particularly well. It was okay, but he didn't play particularly well.
Well,
But,
when you have no center backs, a half-injured center back is better than zero center backs.
Well, yeah. But you now have your relatively first choice. Oh, and Diop was fit enough to be on the bench against Arsenal. So now have 3 center backs ready to rock, potentially. Because in the Europa League, Craig Dawson's not suspended. He was only suspended for this game for that red card.
Of course.
So they have a decent shot to do something in Germany there. But you always thought Arsenal was going to get the better here because West Ham are kind of hanging all their eggs. If they win the Europa League, they're in the Champions League next
So
year.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
You don't have to fight for the Champions League spot.
Exactly. Which they'd fell out of a while back anyway. Both of our center backs scored, Rob Holding and Gabriel, which is awesome. There was a fair few chances Eddie Nketiah had that I think he probably could have finished 1 or 2 of them. I think, overall, I think we had the better of the play. But it was a fairly even match. It was kind of back and forth, and it was testy.
It's what you would expect from two teams in the,
In those spaces,
4th and 6th place respectively.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly what you would expect.
What I did love was Ramsdale's comments after the game in an interview with Rob Holding that they did, and Rob Holding was asked about his goals, his first Premier League goal. He scored a couple in the Carabao Cup and a couple others, and he said, "Oh, Rob, you almost looked surprised." On the look on your face was almost a look of surprise rather than joy. And he goes, "Yeah, it's whatever." Says what he says, and then Aaron Ramsdale goes, "Oh yeah, the interviewer said, oh, that was your first goal in the Premier League, first goal in the league at all." And Ramsdale goes, "It took him 6 years and a new hairline." That's
Fabulous.
fucked up.
For Arsenal now, it really comes down to
Beat Tottenham on the 12th.
It's beat Tottenham. That's it. It's not this week, but the following week.
It's a week from Thursday.
It's beat Tottenham. That's it.
Yep.
Beat Tottenham. Chelsea is within reach. I think ultimately Chelsea will figure it out. But also, their next match is Wolves, and Wolves have nothing to play for, which I think will help.
Wolves didn't play.
Yeah, exactly.
So, maybe Bruno Lage gives them a bollocking after how poor that was.
Yeah,
you would hope.
Yeah, but also
we're only 3 points back.
But
now
also
they
do
have
those
a
guys pay attention
massive
to
goal difference on us.
Yeah.
So we would need them honestly to drop points in 2 games, and I don't think they will.
Right. I think it's in. But,
because we're not going to catch up the goal difference.
Right. But the other good thing for you too is you also have that other little trump card too with Spurs, because Spurs play Liverpool this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance to really separate it. And let's also face it, United's out of discussion. So 4th is yours to be had. The question is do you want it?
Can we hold on to it? That's the key.
Easy win for United. Final home match of the season. They're actually completely caught up on games, so they only have 2 matches
after their game with Chelsea in the midweek on Thursday.
Yep.
Which really there wasn't much to talk about that game.
It was 1-1, and it was just uninspiring.
Chelsea dominated it and should have won the game, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Which is what killed my bet, but perfectly fucking okay with that.
Well, also I do think too in that regards you have a point man and you're refusing to play him. Despite the interview and all the Inter stuff and things like that, you can tell when they're playing, they scream it out, especially in that Everton match. That match screamed for Lukaku.
Oh, yeah, big time.
And
somebody to stand up to Yerry Mina.
And Tuchel's pride just is not playing him, and it's
Because Kai Havertz went full Gen Z.
yeah, exactly, and it's just not working, not working at all. Felt like a curtain call, didn't it?
Yeah, Juan
You and I
Mata,
were watching
Juan
that
Mata
match.
started the game. Nemanja Matic started the last few.
Matic got subbed out to a standing ovation.
Yep, Mata
subbed out. Cavani coming on to a standing ovation. It was like, this feels like
A mass goodbye.
Yeah.
It was also the last game at Old Trafford for this season.
Yeah.
Because they do finish on 2 away games. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of players. I mean, Ralph Rangnick, what we read off a lot of those quotes that were leaked last week. But one of them that sticks out was, when Eric Ten Hag gets here, I'm going to deliver him a pile of shameful dossiers
yeah.
on every first-team player. So those that are out of contract are going to be fucking gone, and that's just the end of it.
Yeah.
You'd imagine. And United, being the commercial behemoth that it is, will have the money to sign players despite finishing outside of Europe.
Yeah.
They always do. And I'm sure the financial fair play gods will be doing something else.
Well, outside of
While
Champions
United go sign people.
outside of Champions League, because they're going to end up in a European spot. They're still going to go to Europa.
No, I really would love nothing more than Manchester United to be in the McRib Trophy.
Yeah, I don't know if West
has
Ham.
to.
I don't know if West Ham
They
will be
have
able to
to
pull
do
it
it.
off though
They
to
have
get them
to do
there.
it.
I'm with you.
Because I want them to go to like the far reaches of Scandinavia, like in the Arctic Circle, and a Bulgarian second division team. Maybe they could go play Alan Pardew's Red Star Belgrade. That'd be awesome.
Maybe they got to go out to Belarus and play FK Slotsk. But it will be brilliant knowing that if they're playing in the McRib Trophy, that Jose Mourinho potentially won it first.
Sure money.
Okay, sure money. Hasn't been so sure lately.
Oh, it's been sure for me.
I lost again. I'm now down $216, but I'm perfectly fine with that loss, as I said, which is exactly what my Cup of Losers says. Happy to lose this one. Perfectly fine. So there, that goes in the Dort Spirect Cup of Losers.
My God, he just cannot stop moving and wiggling over there.
Well, he's doing it for a particular reason, Mel, because he thinks that I'm like Kai Havertz, and I'm not. I don't give a fuck. Okay, he's doing the old footsteps.
Is that what that
Because
was
he's getting
supposed
closer
to
to me. Yeah.
I thought it was the slowest drum roll ever.
So I'll get into what I'm doing here shortly. But Sam, since you seem to be so excited and getting close to me, I can hear you in the background. What is it there that you've got going on?
Just like in golf. Only one time were you able to hold me off, but typically when I start to make
Careful.
that comeback,
Choose your words wisely.
to make that comeback, you start to hear them footsteps and you get real nervous real quick. And by the way, you have kind of a Kai Havertz poofy hair thing going on as it is anyways.
Oh, yeah. Ray in the chats is obsessed with your hair.
Brilliant. As we knock shit over.
I didn't do that. Or did I?
You did. You hit your computer screen and this was behind it. Well done. Wasn't me. I was over here. I'm over here now doing a triple sow cow. I'm dainty. I'm dice on ice, okay? Don't worry about me. You worry about you. Anywho.
That seems like a reference.
Yeah, it's a Dice reference. Andrew Dice Clay reference. But we're not gonna.
All right, go.
I hit my bet. And I am now down only $395, which is a hair over 100 behind you.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
24.324324% of the time. Works 100% of the time, Mr. Graham.
All right.
And it's been working a lot lately. And just to fuck with you, I took your club this week.
All right.
Don't have to feed a couple losers. Well, because I didn't fucking lose.
Not worried about it.
I'm betting your boys this weekend. So give me Arsenal to beat Leeds and the total over of 3.5 goals. I think this is a 3-1, 3-2 kind of match.
Okay.
And that will give me $210, and I will pass you by because you will clearly fucking lose.
Well, not true, but let's. That's enough out of you, I think. Let's see what's the old Patty boy up to.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
The only person taking a bigger dive than you is this guy.
Pat, what's up, dude?
He might not be back. He texted me that he's going for a beer.
Oh, fuck.
I guess he's not that good.
Oh, that's
You know
bloody
what's
fucking
sure about
brilliant.
this segment?
What's that?
Is that it's sure shit.
Yes, it is. I mean,
I can see him on hold, and I got the text. I ran for a beer, and I thought that meant.
You're getting another phone call.
He's calling right now.
there we go.
Let's go ahead and play his cue again.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Hey, Pat, what's up, buddy?
Oh, hold on. For some reason, we are not connected anymore, Pat.
Is it the phone button? Is it muted?
No, it's not muted.
Fortunately, there's going to be a lot of shit she's going to have to fix in post.
Yeah, maybe.
I love how the like Ray and everybody's getting all this live.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if your phone's... No, my phone should be connected to Bluetooth.
It was connected earlier because you got a notification. It dinged.
I know. Moment, please. We will edit this out of the real show.
Idea.
Edit.
Fix it.
I was say we can edit it all. We can edit even the first mess up all the way through.
Yeah, I'm connected to the board. Let's try again.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
The
Hey,
only
buddy.
the only person tanking worse than you right now is this guy.
Yeah. What's up, man? Patrico?
Technology's awesome.
Oh, and he dropped the call.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Third time's the charm.
All right, I'm gonna say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, hold for your sound cue.
All right. Well, a police siren is going by. Love Pasadena.
That's good. We're good.
All right, here we go.
And
All right.
now-
Sorry.
Are you ready, Pat?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You sure?
No.
This is why people need to watch the live show. All right, here
I
we go.
was.
All right, hold please.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Speaking of people that are tanking worse than you, Mr. Graham, introduce our next friend.
Hey, Pat, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Holy shit, man. 0 for 10, man. 0 for 10.
You're just, you know, at some point when you're high, don't just keep betting like I'm just gonna do an 8-game bet this weekend. No, maybe just go. I got money in my pocket. Maybe I should fuck off and bet 1 game.
Yeah. No shit.
Oh, my God. I mean, I didn't do the exact math, but if you would have taken all 10 games and parlayed it and laid like $10 on it, I think you would walk away with somewhere close to like $5,000.
Wow. Well,
That is the last game of the season special that I do every
Yep.
year.
Well, the one thing he honestly he deserves it. He picked Chelsea to beat Everton, and not just the fact that he's picking against his boy, you know, but more importantly, he picked Chelsea. He has a history with Chelsea. Chelsea
Yeah, that's
fucks
true.
him constantly.
That's true.
Chelsea always fucks you, Pat. Why do you pick Chelsea?
Well, I mean, but that was already dead after Wolverhampton lost on Saturday. So it was just like, well, just go ahead and, you know, twist the knife in the side, you know, have the second part of my parlay free, which was the huge, I mean, well, not a huge favor. I think they were minus 170 or something like that.
Still a decent
with-
favorite. That's on the road, too. That was in Everton's building to be minus 170.
I argue by him picking Chelsea, he helped you.
Oh, he probably did. I appreciate that. The karma
And
gods
I'll
helped.
pick the rest of the season, everyone against Everton, if that'll help you out.
Yeah, well, if it'll help, we'll see.
All right, buddy. So
And
what do you got this week? Let's see if
I'll
we
pick
can go.
Arsenal in every match. Hey, before I get to that, hold on. I want to have a conversation real quick.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Okay, what's going on in your world then?
When's Arsenal and Tottenham having that makeup game from earlier in the season? Is that coming up?
May 12th, 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Is it a middle of week game or
Thursday.
weekend game?
It's a Thursday.
Thursday game. Okay. Well, we still have that bet going on for $1, right?
It's firmly in place.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
One
We didn't freak
cool,
about that.
crisp American dollar.
I want it ironed, laundered properly.
All right. Well, so I mean, I really have nothing prepared. I played golf all day and been drinking. And so,
well, and you also told Mel you were going to get more beer, and hence why we hear you on the road.
No. I'm in my back porch right now. I just mowed the lawn and drinking a beer afterwards. Yeah. A couple. I am drinking a Shiner Tex-Ken IPA. Yeah. Pretty good.
All right. So what's your bet this week? How much are you down now? And what's your bet this week?
I mean, I only bet 100, so I think I'm like still up like 400. I was gonna ask you all, what do you think I should take? Because my picks ain't doing jack shit. Or anybody? Can I take 100 on one of y'all's bets? I know you all parlay, but can I just put 100 on something? What do you want me to put 100?
I think my bet's pretty good. I took Arsenal to beat Leeds and over a total of 3.5 goals, and that's plus 210.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay. hey, everybody, can you give me some ideas for bets? I don't know what I'm going to do. Here's an idea. Fuck your idea.
All right, do you want mine real quick? I'll do mine for you real fast. You see if you want this one.
All
right. So, as I said, I'm down 216. I picked a 3-game parlay of Brentford to beat Southampton, because Southampton are on a bit of a slide after their couple of good results. Villa to beat Burnley.
Yes!
And then Arsenal to beat Leeds. And that gives me plus 663 on a $100 bet.
Huh. All right.
Actually, you hit that one.
What's up with the Manchester United? Why are they, I mean, they're favorites, but they're low favorites?
Because they suck.
Really? Manchester United suck?
They haven't been playing well.
They've been playing like shit.
They're in 6th place. They don't tend to win. They did win today, but they haven't been playing well. Take that one. Who are they playing?
BHA.
Brighton Hove Albion, who they've lost at. They've lost at recently. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why they're actually getting some. That's actually, I would say, after Brighton having that 3-0 win over Wolves, I would say that's actually a pretty good play. I would take put 100 on
United.
On United, since they're getting odds. I mean, it's only $70, but fuck it.
And get me back into I don't know if you would call that a winning column. 1 in 11.
It's a win. It's when you've
well,
lost
you're still
10
up
in a
on
row.
money. You're still up on money.
Yeah, I am leaking it like a goddamn broken faucet.
Yeah, no shit. Well, just remember, the chicken's better than all of us.
Oh, is it still better than me?
Yeah.
I've been good throughout the
Definitely.
season.
Chicken's 18 and 12.
God damn it.
Sorry, Russ.
Yeah. All right, bro.
All right. I'll put 100 to win 155 on Manchester United. I'm happy with that.
All right. Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right. Well, I guess our conversation's done now.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Isolate that! Please isolate that!
Clip it. Fucking clip it.
Oh, Bat, I love you so much. You're the fucking best.
God damn it. Mel, hang up on him, will you? Fucking hell. I can't even make a joke.
I can't even.
That went especially shit than normal. That's fucking terrible.
I don't even have to lead it in. We already know how that segment went. Thank God we got a fucking chicken.
Such a new low.
It's your segment.
Well, Kitty, like Sam says, sits at 18 and 12, and it would appear you'd be all better off if you vet. Let me try this again. It would appear she would be better, all of you, yet again.
Better. Oh, I didn't put in the word then. Sorry, my
Yeah,
apologies.
bad English. Bad English.
Okay, very good.
And it's also then, not then.
Continuing the shit episode segment, Kitty was very aware.
Shit on the whole episode.
Thanks. Our fucking producer.
Producer of the year. Let's hope. Vote for Mel.
Can't find any more. Voting's done. Come on, cold reader.
Let's
Get it
cheat.
done.
Yada, yada, yada. Now, Kitty was very aware of my incredibly busy weekend.
You were a busy girl.
And I do appreciate that she hearted a few things on Instagram.
Well, that's how she rolls. Good social media presence.
She sent me a very brief email as she is currently working with Christian Pulisic's father on his social media platform correctly.
Yeah, he kind of put up a tweet about his son really loving playing in London, but not happy about his playing time, and then promptly took it down. So obviously, Kitty knows how to heart things on Instagram.
Well, he had that problem at Dortmund as well, by the way.
Yeah, so he
under
knows
Tuchel.
Yeah, so he knows. So his dad clearly is taking some cues from Kitty there.
Yeah. Kitty's been a lot of people's social media managers. So she didn't really get to hang out with the American superstar, but she did mention that, well, she favors Chelsea to beat Wolverhampton.
She's been on quite a whirlwind tour, and I guess now in London, working with Pulisic's father and Christian there to make sure that things get ironed over, because they wouldn't want an Inter moment like Lukaku, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I asked Penelope if she knows when Kitty's coming back, and the best I can hear is sometime after Memorial Day. And I hear she's coming home with friends.
No shit, gonna be some friends. Very
we
cool.
We may have to expand the Chicken Hill. She has requested a guest house.
No shit. Well, man, if anybody deserving of a guest house, it would be Kitty. I mean, that's how that girl rolls.
Yeah, so I guess expect contractors on her arrival.
Heard. Very good.
But you know what Kitty also expects?
What's that?
She always expects me to remind everybody to gamble legally and responsibly.
Championship corner!
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
I feel like this segment is now kind of deflated because that one was so shit.
Well, I would say we already know who's going down. Let's just keep it to.
Well,
we already know that Fulham is going up.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You'll run the segment when you're in it.
Okay. Very good. Okay,
Relax.
cool.
Let me take care of it. The party was delayed last week as Fulham lost to Nottingham Forest 1-0. But
Knott's needed to stay in the playoff hunt.
Today, Monday, Fulham confirmed themselves champions of the championship with a emphatic 7-0 win over Luton Town.
Oh, and Luton Town was in the playoff hunt. Fuck, they put it on them.
We got Mitro with 2 in that game, and Fulham are now confirmed champions. I'm not going to do the rest of the midweek. So we start on Friday with Sheffield United beating QPR 3-1. On Saturday, Preston North End over Barnsley 3-1. Bournemouth over Blackburn 3-0, which means a lot to the second automatic promotion spot. Derby did get a moral 2-0 win over Blackpool, which is nice to see. Wayne Rooney saying he's going to stay on.
Yep.
Don't know if that's going to be the case, but that's what he's saying right now. Bristol City over Hull 5-0. Cardiff and Birmingham 1-1, which has playoff implications, I think. Huddersfield over Coventry 2-1, which is important to the playoffs. Borough getting another win 3-1 over Stoke. Millwall beating Peterborough 3-0. Nottingham Forest 5-1 over Swansea, so a couple of wins on the bounce, staying in those playoff places. West Brom 1-0 over Reading. Sausage rolls for everybody. And then there were no Sunday games. So that brings us to your table. Fulham, again, crowned champions, 90 points on 45 games.
Wow.
Pretty fucking good. Bournemouth in second place on 44 games played with 82 points. Nottingham Forest up to third on 44 games played, 79 points. They are only separated by 1 goal in their goal differential. Bournemouth are plus 33. Forest are plus 34.
So Knots could find themselves getting the automatic promotion in second.
Huddersfield dropped down to fourth place.
I'm kind of rooting for that.
They are tied with Forest on 79 points, but they have played a game more than Forest on 45 games played. They also have a vastly inferior goal difference at only plus 15. So Forest is actually looking poised here. Bournemouth obviously in a good way as well, and Scotty Parker. Sheffield United in fifth on 72 points. Probably not going to catch Huddersfield, so Huddersfield and Forest and Bournemouth are at least minimum confirmed to be in the playoff places.
Right.
I believe. Luton Town rounding out those playoff places in with 72 points, also in 45 games played. Middlesbrough on 45 games played, 70 points in 7th, just outside looking in, but a better goal difference at Luton Town because of today's result.
Mm-hmm.
So we
isn't
could
Millwall right there too?
Millwall is in 8th on 69 points.
Yeah.
We draw hard around it,
Uh-huh.
but only +9.
Right.
So getting very, very interesting in your playoff picture here in the championship. And I think we're going to see everybody else is on 45 games, so this makes it so much more fun. The game in hand that Bournemouth and Forest play is the one against each other.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Fucking get in.
Yes.
Yep.
Fucking love it. I wonder if that's a midweek this week or not. So we'll have to wait and see.
There is one game left in the season for everyone else,
Mm-hmm.
and then that game. There are 2 games, officially, 2 games left in the championship.
Mm-hmm. So Knots, if they want to, Nottingham Forest wants to make it into automatic promotion, beat Bournemouth.
If they beat Bournemouth, they already have a better goal differential. They'll just extend that.
Mm-hmm.
And then so they will be in the automatic spot.
Yeah. For I mean, no offense to Bournemouth, but for Knott's sake, Nottingham Forest's sake, I would love to see them get up. Automatic promotion. That'd be great. That's like Leeds coming up. That's a big fuck deal.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really big fucking deal.
So you've got in 5th Sheffield United on 72, in 6th Luton Town on 72, in 7th Middlesbrough on 70, and in 8th Millwall on 69. So there are 4 people vying for that the last 2 playoff spots. So a lot could change there on this last game of the season for those clubs.
Be a hell of a note if Luton Town goes out because of that 7-0 loss.
Yeah, I would like to see. You know what? Let's do this. Scores. Let's go Tuesday, May 3rd. Okay, tomorrow is Bournemouth Forest, 2 p.m. ESPN Plus.
There we go.
That'll be on my iPad while I'm working.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put that in the car while I'm driving. Yeah, definitely.
And then Saturday, May 7th is the final day.
Everybody plays at the same time.
Everyone plays at the same time, and it's all lunchtime kickoff. 7:30 in the morning. You get all of the games.
Oh, shit. That might be a early wake up and bounce around on ESPN Plus.
Definitely will be an early wake up, bounce around on ESPN Plus.
Lovely.
I'm supposed to play golf at 10, so I got to get up and be ready anyway.
So you'll get up and just start bouncing around?
Because I don't have to leave my house till 9, so I'll have to leave with like 10 minutes left. So whatever game is most intriguing to me,
brilliant.
I'll put on the phone and drive with it in the car on Bluetooth.
Brilliant. All right, that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Sammy, any parting words?
Watch the fucking championship this week.
Oh, yeah. Especially tomorrow.
Those are my
if you have
words.
ESPN Plus, go watch that match.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great match because that's a, $100 million match. Like the automatic promotion, you never want to leave it to the playoffs.
No.
Never.
Absolutely not.
I can't tell you how many third place teams have not gone up.
Correct.
It happens a lot.
But maybe you want to, because how many playoff winners rather typically stay in the Premier League their first season?
That's true. They do tend to stay up.
But you have to get those get through those 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
So
agreed.
The other thing I would say, Pat, DBAC, you call here, be fucking prepared, mate. All right. Stop derailing my fucking segment. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure it's all his fault.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Blame the beer.
That's it.
All right, I love it. Yeah, there's D back right there. He's getting knocked around by my chair, so we got to be careful there. All right, next up is injury time. We review the beers we've been drinking. We talk about our adopted clubs, although most of their seasons are now done. But we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about League One and League Two and all that fun stuff. And we will preview the weekend's action for the Premier League. Sammy, should somebody want to find injury time, how do they go about doing it?
One last time, it's www.patreon.com/DUFootballShow, and just sign up to that $5 tier. You get both shows. Pretty good. Sound check and injury time.
Excellent. Till next week, everybody.
Good night.